Namaste Sadavatsale Matrabhume. Now we are starting a series in English. Why? Because there is a lot of requests from the South India and from the all over world, wherever the Indian people are living. That is why, first of all, we are starting from the judgment of demonetization by the Honorable Supreme Court. Actually, in Supreme Court, there was the challenge, or someone challenged the decision of Narendra Modi government decided on 8th of November 2016 at 8 p.m. He suddenly said that we are demonetizing the currency of 5,000 rupees and 1,000 rupees for all series. There was the so chaotic situation in India. But somebody challenged in the Supreme Court and lot of petitions was in the Supreme Court. First of all, the government of India in their counter affidavit objected to the Supreme Court that you do not having a right to decide or you do not having a right to review the economic policy of the government. Why? Because the cause behind this argument of the government of India was that in case of economic policies, even the Rajya Sabha do not having much right to intervene. Only the Lok Sabha will decide the economic policies. Even in case of finance bill or in case of money bill, if the Rajya Sabha having an objection, then government is not bound by the objections of the Rajya Sabha. If the Rajya Sabha is not deciding within 14 days from the day of sending the economic bill or the finance bill after passing from Lok Sabha, then it will be presumed that the Rajya Sabha is agreed by this bill. You can understand that at what level the government having a discretion in case of economic policies. Why? Because the government has to go in election after each and every 5 years. So the decision, whatever taken in case of economic policies, will have to be reviewed by the public in form of their vote. But in Supreme Court, when the government argued this, the court at that time said that no doubt we do not having right to intervene in the economic policies, or we do not having a right to decide in the economic policies. Even when the central government said, if you will do any decision or you will make any decision, then we cannot go back, because demonetization is completed and it is sixth year or seventh year after taking a decision. So in that case, Supreme Court said, no, we knows that we do not have a right, but we cannot be sit here with a folded hand. That is why we will review only. P. Chidambaram, who was the arguer from the petitioner's side, P. Chidambaram said to the Supreme Court that we are not saying that you have to revert the decision, but we are of the opinion that the government do not have to do again this type of fault that is very very inconvenient to the citizen of India. In such a situation, Supreme Court sended the case to the 5 judges bench, and that 5 judges bench asked to the central government and the RBI to produce each and every document regarding the decision. Central government submitted the document in sealed cover envelope. They said that only 5 judges, whoever on the seat, can view it, but what was the cause behind it and what was the modus operandi applied or adopted by the central government cannot be revealed to each and every person. Now, the 5 judges bench, after completion of arguments on 7th of December 2022, they kept the decision for the judgment. Now, the central government on 1st of January 2022 decided, the Supreme Court on 1st of January 2022 decided. In the early morning, they said that the 5 judges bench by in 2 judgments, 4 judges, 1 judgment, and the 1 judge decided by the separate judgment. Honorable Justice Gavai and other judges and other three judges who decided, those said that no, the object of the government was nice, the object of the government was fair, because they had an agenda to block the black marketing, to block the terror funding, to block the to prevent from the making of black money, or to prevent for the black monies and whatever the fake currency and etc etc. The four judges, Honorable Justice Nazir, Honorable Justice B.R. Gavai, Honorable Justice A.R. Bopanna, Honorable Justice Rama Subramaniam, they decided that no, under Section 26, Clause 2 of the RBI Act, any currency can be, any series of currency can be demonetized by the government, does not mean that only one or two series. In that case, government having the full power to demonetize all series of a currency. And we do not have to make a diminished decision. We do not have to think diminishedly, because the government having the power, and the government is responsible for the Lok Sabha, and the government is responsible to the citizen of India. If government is going to the citizen of India for every 5 years, then in that case we do not found anything where we have to intervene. But the dissenting judgment given by Honorable Justice B.V. Nagarathna, she said, no, we are not against the object. We are not deciding on the basis of the object of the government. Object may be fair, but we are deciding the legality of the procedure adopted by the government. And on the same section, under Section 26, Clause 2 of the RBI Act, Honorable Justice Nagarathna decided that any series means few series you can prevent, you can demonetize. But whenever you are demonetizing all the series, the RBI is exclusively do not having the right. Even the RBI do not having the right. After consultation with the RBI, the government cannot do so. Government has to go to the parliament to demonetize all the series of particular currency. Or even if they can't go to the parliament, they must have to do by the ordinance, at least, because this whole procedure required a legislation. And if the government do not having the legislation, then they cannot do. But the four judges bench on the same ground said that no, any series includes all the series. That is why four judges decided in favor of the government, and single judge given the descending order. I think the central government, I think the Honorable Supreme Court decided in the fair manner and decided in the fair side. So, congratulations to the central government, congratulations to the Modi government, congratulations to the persons whoever is in the favor of the demonetization. But the persons whoever filed the case in the Supreme Court, no doubt, they will be discouraged by this judgment. But economic policies belongs to the central government. Economic policies are the pure government policies. To make the decisions for the economy, we have mandated the government. That is why that is an exclusive right of the government. It is also confirmed by the Honorable Supreme Court. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Vande Mataram.